Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here with the Shimmerz education team and I've got a brand new layout to share using lots of pretty paint. And don't forget to use my name in the comment section when you're shopping online at the Shimmerz store to get a free paint. So I'm going to create a layout on white cardstock to begin with here, and these are the three new colors. I'm going to use those, also mixing and matching in some other Shimmerz products. So my thought was to kind of create a rainbow. That's kind of what it starts out to be, a modified rainbow of color, you could say. The first color is one of the new ones, and it's called Lilac Blossom. And the original Shimmerz paints come in the little pots, and they're already liquefied. So all you have to do is stir it up. You don't have to add any water or anything like that. And there's this really awesome, chunky, glittery substance in there that makes them ultra thick and shimmery and sparkly. This color here is an older color. It's not too old, but it's not brand new, and it's a Shimmerz original, and it's called Moulin Rouge. And then I'm going to use a totally different Shimmerz product. This is a Creameez, and it's called One Hot Mama. And the Creameez, you do have to add water to activate because they are hard when you get them. This is a beautiful mint color. It's one of the new ones, and it's called It's Meant to Be. And I'm just doing a sort of strips of color here, kind of blending one color into the next. And then I'm going to run this through my Cameo later and cut out some shapes. So I started with purple and then kind of blended with a few pinks, and now I'm going to sort of the greens and the blues. This is Jeni Bleu. That's one of my all-time favorite Shimmerz products and colors. It's a Vibez, very, very pretty aqua turquoise blue. And then this is the other new color, the third one. It's called Limoncello, and it's a very soft, pretty, sparkly yellow. So I pretty much just colored the whole thing here. I'm going to add in a little bit of Vibez Glorious Day, which is a very pretty, sparkly, golden, shimmery color. And then I thought, well, I love this, but I want to kind of add some dimension and some interest to it. So I'm going to pull out this very well-loved handmade circle stencil that's half cut up that I've created a long time ago. And I'm just going to add in some different colors on top of the colors that I've already got, just to add some interest. The purple spray that I use is a Vibez. It's called Princess. The pink is a Vibez called Sweetheart. The aqua color is Coloringz Well Blew Me Down. And then I used the Jeni Bleu again and the Glorious Day again. And so they're very similar to the colors that I used, but just, you know, a different, they're more liquids, so they're going to look a little bit different. And that's the beauty of Shimmerz, is there's so many different finishes and colors. You've got so many lights and darks and brights, and everything looks so good when you layer things together. Now this is, look how shimmery and sparkly this is. This is a Shimmeringz, and it's called Goldie Lox, and it's a very, very light, shimmery gold spray. So I just thought I would sprinkle some of that on for some extra shimmer. It's very subtle. It's not a very dark gold. And then this is Vibez Snowstorm, so it's a white spray, and it's more on the light side, but you're going to be able to see it here in just a second, or the effect that it creates on top of all this color. So everything is dry. I ran it through my Cameo. I just went through some older silhouette cut files that I had of some hearts, and I just covered the entire 12 by 12 cutting mat with different sized hearts. And I was definitely inspired by a recent layout that I saw Paige Evans do, where she cut out a bunch of hearts and stacked them together. And I'm kind of going to do that. It's going to look definitely different, but I was definitely, how many times can I say definitely? I was definitely inspired by her stacked hearts layout. So I'm going to pull all of these off, and you can see how cool they look. I think it's really fun to create a background like this and then cut shapes or punch shapes out of it. It just totally changes the entire look of everything that you're making. This is another sheet of just plain white cardstock, and I'm going to use these pictures of my little Paige, and she was swinging. This is probably a year and a half ago, and she just looks so cute. And I wanted to leave them in color because I love the contrast of the dark, the green trees in the background that are really dark. This was kind of late in the evening, so it was starting to get dark. And then her purple shirt. And I thought, since I've got purple going on in these hearts, I thought I would challenge myself to scrap these in color. So what I want to do is, of course, not leave the background solid white. So I'm mixing in some white gesso and some of the colors that I used to color the hearts. I'm just kind of splattering it on and then smudging it with the gesso with the palette knife. And so it's just creating kind of a messy looking color splotch, if you will, on the background here. And this dries pretty quickly because I'm spreading it so thin with the palette knife. And I want the color to kind of blend with the gesso. And the gesso is also going to change the way it looks when it dries. And it's going to make it lighter because it's white. And so in a sense, I'm kind of lightening it up. But I wanted something behind all these hearts that I'm going to put down. And I couldn't pick one color. And so I thought, well, I'll just use all the colors that I used and kind of create this colorful, just splotchy shape on the background. And a lot of this is going to get covered up, but you're going to still be able to see it kind of peeking out from behind the hearts and the pictures and things. So all of these are colors that I've already mentioned that I used to create that background for the hearts. And so you can see how much lighter that is since I mixed it with the gesso versus the hearts where I did not use the gesso. So there's always a way to alter colors. If you have a color or you're limited on colors but you need a different color, there's always a way to mix it or to blend it with something else to totally change it. So my first thought was not to stack the hearts, but just to kind of layer them kind of coming out from behind the photos. So if you see where I'm going to put the photos on the bottom right, she's looking toward the left. And so I wanted it to look like she's looking at all these hearts kind of coming out from behind the pictures. And I like the way it looks, but I don't love it totally the way I arrange them here. I kind of speed this up because it's just me laying down hearts. And yeah, so it takes me a while to kind of get the groove of what I really wanted to do. So you can see here when I was talking about the background, you can see that a lot of it's covered up, but you can still see it peeking through, and it's not just solid white. So I like that, but then I decide what would these look like if I did stack them. I didn't want to stack all of them. I just stack a couple. So I think I create 5 little stacks here, and I just kind of mix and match sizes and colors and shapes, and then glue right down the middle of the hearts so I can flip up the edges, because I definitely want these to be dimensional and I don't want them to lay completely flat. And so you can do this with butterflies or circles or any shape really. And if you want dimension, you know, don't glue down every single piece of it, just glue down the middle. And then once I get all of these attached or assembled, I'm going to go through with my sewing machine and stitch right down the middle. And this is fun to do, you know, with white cardstock, because you can customize and color, you know, whatever color scheme you want. And you can also do it with pattern paper. That would look fun too. So here we go. I've got 5 clusters of hearts, and you can see how I can bend the edges up. And now I think I'm gonna like this better. I know I like it better because I know what the final product looks like. I like the big hearts kind of going down the center there in a crooked line, and then I'm gonna sort of arrange the rest of the hearts over to the left. So this is gonna be basically a bunch of hearts and my pictures. And I love layouts like this because I'm not using a collection. I'm not limited to anything. I'm just kind of, you know, creating my own color scheme and my own shapes, and you know, making them match my photos. And so I really don't want a lot more embellishments, and I don't feel like I need a lot more embellishments because the hearts are so predominant and the pictures stand out so well that, you know, if you go too much more with a lot of embellishments, it's going to get too busy, because it's very busy as it is right here. And, you know, sometimes less is more. And I know this isn't less because there's so many hearts, but I mean with embellishments. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to each heart. And again, just add a little bit of glue. That way everything's not flat. And I still haven't even glued down my pictures yet, but I know that's where I want all the hearts to go, and I want to tuck the pictures underneath the edges of the hearts there. So for this particular layout, I'm not going to add any adhesive foam behind my pictures. I know I do that quite frequently, but when I tuck things underneath, obviously I don't want to raise it up. So I'm going to leave the photos flat because the hearts are what are dimensional on this page. I'm going to tuck a little bit of tissue paper underneath the pictures there, just for an added little extra layer of something subtle. And then I struggled with what's my title going to be and where is my title going to go, because I didn't want to cover up those hearts, and I definitely don't really have any room to put it on top of the pictures. So I struggled with that for a while. So I went through my old thicker stash and I found these. I don't even remember where I got these or if they were in a kit or what, but I had just enough. They're the perfect blue, and I'm gonna just make this I Heart Her because all the hearts, and I think I use love on so many layouts, and so I thought, ooh, I actually have two E. Actually, I didn't have two E's. The bottom E was an F, and I had to cut a little piece off of another letter to make it an E, but you can't even tell. So now I'm going to add in a little bit of thread. I mixed a light pink and a dark pink together for a little bit over there on the right, and then I'm mixing a lighter blue and an aqua color to add in a little bit right here, just to add to the messy factor. And I also left the white thread strings kind of hanging on the centers of the hearts that I stitched. And I also added some glue behind those stickers because of the gesso and the mixed media. Things really don't like to stick. Now I'm going to add in some sequins, and most of these, the bottom three packs that you see there, are from Spiegelmom Scraps. I've got some purple, some pink, and some blue, and I'm just kind of sprinkling them around the page. Some of them are big, some of them are small, and they just add the perfect texture, a little bit of shine. And then I felt like I needed a little pop of yellow over on the right, and so I went back to the background sheet where I punched out all those hearts, or cut all those hearts, and then punched a couple of small yellow ones just to add to the right. And then here's where I thought about adding, I do add one sticker from an old Amy Tangerine collection that says, "Hello Sunshine." And then I thought, well, I need to add more stuff. I need to add more stuff. And then I thought, you know what? No, you don't. Don't. Just leave it. It's fine. I like the way it looks, and that's the way it's going to end. I'm going to add in some lines for journaling. And then that's all I do. I finish the journaling and add the date, and that is it. And I barely used anything except 2 pieces of cardstock here. And so I hope you give this idea a try. It's a lot of fun and freeing. It feels great to just make up your own stuff as you go. I love how this turned out. I love the dimension. The hearts are fun, easy to make. So pull out all of your shimmers and all of your mixed media goodies and just kind of create a mess and then cut something out of it. That is so much fun to do, and you can customize it to whatever color scheme you want. So let me know if you have any questions about any of the Shimmerz products, the techniques, anything at all, and make sure you visit the Shimmerz Paint store. I'll leave the link below, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.